So welcome back, and we're going to be taking a look at a few new items this time around in Flash. Just like before, we're going to start with an ActionScript 3.0 file, and we're going to take some time and look at the text tool and the shape tools on this time around, and probably just to make things look like we left off last time, I'm going to go ahead and turn my stage into a black background. And then I'm going to choose the text tool over here. Remember that as we choose something, the properties panel will update to show us details on that particular item. So since I've just chosen the text tool, the things that make sense pop up to say, for instance, what font family am I choosing? And there are a whole bunch of choices here. I think I'm going to leave it on the default for now. Font size and letter spacing are available, as well as the color. So since I've chosen a black background for the text, I'm going to change my text color to a yellow so it will stand out. And if you notice, on the offstage in the gray area at the top right now, I've got the crosshairs and little T to indicate that I've got text mode. So it's a little visual reminder of what I've got going. Okay, so pretty much I want to click and drag the area that I'm thinking of having for my text. So I might say, I'll put in kids here. And since I don't really have this on the stage, I want to move it. Easy way is to grab the selection tool and then just drag this down. We can also resize things as we want to with these little boxes here. And as long as this is still a text item, I can go ahead and double click. I can edit. I can delete things. I can change stuff as if it's still just like in a word processor. Okay. But for animation purposes, we're going to be doing some things to change this from being a simple text field to being a symbol. Okay, so we'll be talking about that in some more detail. The quick and easy way to change something from one kind of thing into a symbol is a shortcut on the function keys, which is F8, and that will convert it to a symbol. You can also right click, and then since that was the thing I was on top of, I can choose convert to symbol right here as well. Okay. Now you might ask, why do I ever need to convert things to a symbol? Why can't I just leave them as text? The answer is when we want Flash to do some animation for us, either moving, spinning, fading, whatever, pretty much all the animation effects that we can imagine, it needs to be converted to a symbol so that Flash can have some control over it and animate it. So simple text things we can leave on the screen and they can appear, but if we want to have Flash animate things, we need to turn them into a symbol. Okay, so the thing that we would probably do here is to say, call this kids. I might even do something like TXT so that I knew it was originally a text thing. And then I have some choices here. I'm going to leave mine on movie clip for the time being, and we might cover that in a later one, but you can leave that on the default. Okay, so once I've hit OK, you can see that the box changed a bit now, and I haven't moved anywhere, but my properties panel is now indicating that I have an instance of a symbol called kids.txt. Okay, and then this is showing me some details about this particular item. So right now I'm not really animating, but these are all the details about the location of this particular thing. So if you notice, I actually get this nice little arrow, double arrow, and Adobe has done this in the last several versions of their programs, including Flash, to let you click and drag, and that actually is editing the field that I've got highlighted. So in this case, the X field. And as I move left, you can see that's going to, or sorry, as I'm dragged to the left and my numbers get smaller, it's moving my text symbol to the left. Okay, and likewise, if I'm over here now, even though the Y goes up and down, all these little fields that I can edit, I click and drag either to the left to reduce the number, or I can move to the right to increase the number. Okay, and all this is doing really is changing the X and Y coordinate of this symbol. And if you see right here in the center, that's the center point, and that's where this X and Y are referring to. So if I move this to 0, and I can also, just so you know, I can also type in here. So if I wanted to just really quickly get something to 0, 0, I can do it this way. And then notice that that little spot, because the upper left-hand corner in Flash is 0, 0, and now that's put my symbol right there. All right, so let's do one more quick thing and let you guys do some practice afterwards. I'm going to also, so I've got my text item that I turn into a symbol, and I can do a similar thing with any of these primitive objects. There's some really good power here that Flash gives us kind of for free for making objects. So just to stand out a little differently than my previous item, I'm going to go ahead and have a green item chosen for my rectangle. And if I want to get a perfect square, I can actually hold down the Shift key on the keyboard and see how that keeps things proportionally so it's a square rather than a rectangle. Okay, so you have your choice there. Great, I've got my rectangle. Notice that I chose no stroke, which would be the outside. That's kind of handy for drawing with basic shapes so that you don't have too much stuff to keep track of. If I just have one color, it's going to make my life a little simpler later on. Okay, but we'll take a look at that too. All right, so right now then this is just a shape, and some things I can do with shapes. I have not converted this to a symbol. Flash allows us some pretty good vector control over these things, so I can actually start to do some kind of neat effects just by clicking on an edge where I have this little curve icon, and by dragging, while I've got that little curve icon, I'm actually changing the look of this little shape. Okay, so I could have a little fun with this, and now I have a different thing than just a rectangle that I had before. Okay, so if I want to animate this, the same thing as before, I'd want to choose this and turn it into a symbol. So I'm going to go ahead and choose my selector. The shortcut is a V on the keyboard if I wanted to switch back to that. And now I want to choose this thing. Now notice it still says this is a shape. Again, I have my X and Y, my width and my height. It tells me the details about things. But I want to actually convert this to a symbol as well. So the way to do that, again, on the keyboard is an F8. And just as a reminder for you, you can also right click then. It's a little off the screen. So you can convert it to a symbol in actually more than one way here. So I'm going to hit F8 this time since I already did the right click last time. So F8. And this time I might say a swoosh as the name of my thing. And I didn't point this out the first time, but notice how there's the registration point right here, and it's in the center. If you recall, when I had my text converted into a symbol, the little spot was right in the middle, and that's because of the registration point being right there. Okay, so there we have it. Let's kind of wrap this up for now. So we've used the text tool to create some things, and we've used the shape tool, and then taken advantage of some of the vector changes we can do just by getting close to an edge with Flash. And then we've converted both of those things into symbols, meaning that they'd be ready for some animation. And I think that's what we'll get into next time. So let's wrap this up for now, and we'll come back and start moving things next time.